Picture an artificially intelligent being. What kind of qualities do they have? Are they good, bad, violent, a peacekeeper? Did you think about a video game character who consumes bubblegum ice cream, listens to Mariah Carey's Fantasy every morning, and whose catchphrase is,
"Don't have a good day. Have a great day."
Or did this being you pictured have more of a tendency to take over the human race and kill everyone in their way? Upon first thought, most people think of AI in the lens of the latter. But why is this the case? Since the beginning of social discourse around artificial intelligence, digital media, specifically films, have served as an outlet for interpretation of how AI will change our lives. W.J.T. Mitchell put this sentiment plainly in an essay on art in the age of biocybernetics, stating, "Biocybernetics has probably found its best medium in cinema," also saying that films such as Blade Runner, Alien, The Matrix, etc. have made clear the host of fantasies and phobias clustering around biocybernetics. In this portrayal in cinema, the convention of the living machine emerged. As this AI genre became more popular, the films have stuck to the same negative themes around the technology. Along with the films that Mitchell mentioned in an essay from 2003, the same traits are seen in more recent examples of AI narratives. Ex Machina in 2014 shows the humanoid representation of technology. The Mitchells vs. the Machines in 2020 and Avengers Age of Ultron in 2015 focus on narratives where robotic AI tries to take over the human race by gaining control or killing all of human life. This brings the question of whether this overt villainization of the technology is doing more harm than it is good. Has this trend in AI portrayal in media made the public more apprehensive about the technology? When artificial intelligence is becoming a tool that we must address, the common portrayal reflects the idea of ignoring or eradicating the advancements as a solution. This is where the issue lies, because even without public understanding and support, the technology will continue to advance. The Royal Society did a series of workshops researching the perception of AI in the public caused by media portrayal, and found that these films highlight the extreme hopes and extreme fears surrounding the technology, more often the fear getting the most emphasis. There is still very little to no optimistic portrayal of AI in films, but one exception is a more recent film. That video game character I mentioned earlier, I was talking about Guy, the main character in the film Free Guy from 2021 directed by Sean Levy. This film is one of few examples of a narrative that portrays artificial intelligence in a decent light, as harmless and used for good. As expressed in the Royal Society's workshops, this type of portrayal could be beneficial for the perception of AI and create necessary conversations around the technology. Guy is an NPC, or non-playable character, in the shooter-style game called Free City. He works at the bank. He wants a new pair of sneakers but can't buy them. He gets his medium coffee, cream 2 sugars every morning.
Medium coffee, cream 2 sugars.
You know it.
The players, people from the real world, run around wreaking havoc while wearing sunglasses that show their stats, inventories, and everything else that comes with an open-world shooter game. When Guy gets his hands on a pair, he becomes aware that he is in a video game and starts going against his NPC narrative.
Medium coffee, cream 2 sugars.
Actually, I think I'd like to try a cappuccino today. Ooh, cappuccino. I enjoy saying that. It's like a waterfall made of letters.
Excuse me?
I'd like to try a cappuccino.
Unlike most sentient technological beings in media, Guy is harmless, deciding to gain points in Free City by saving people and doing good. Just a little backstory for those who haven't seen the movie: the reason Guy becomes artificially intelligent is because the original creators of the game, who wanted Free City to be a game where players could watch NPCs grow in a peaceful world, sold the game to a man named Antoine, who took their code and made the chaotic, violent version released to the public. When the original creators realized that Guy was proof of their original game was used to create this version of Free City, they decided to take down Antoine to own their game again, since they unknowingly created artificial intelligence, and he lied about using their code. Through a series of heroic events, Guy rallies the rest of the NPCs, leading all of the characters to realize their own free will and help take down Antoine. Free Guy is a rather unserious film, but can still form criticism of the technology in a more thought-provoking way than previous AI narratives that conform to the same tropes. Instead of focusing on the technology being evil, it puts the focus on how technology this advanced can be used by ill-intentioned people. One of the more ironic moments in the film is when Antoine decides to send a new NPC into the game to defeat Guy and stop him from showing the world that he did in fact use the original game's code. This NPC is named Dude. Dude is not the most intelligent NPC, mostly because he was rushed. But once Guy puts the sunglasses on Dude, he immediately stops fighting, realizing his own intelligence and free will. Although seemingly done for comedic reasons, there is something to be said about the statement the scene makes, that maybe artificial intelligence isn't inherently evil and dangerous. Free Guy focuses more on human error. If a film like Free Guy can portray AI in a new or underused light, how might the future perception of AI in entertainment change? Why would this change possibly benefit society? Although it may appear as a humorous film on its surface, Free Guy opens up the conversation about what the portrayal of artificial intelligence could look like in the future. The overdone genre of evil AI may be coming to an end. Given that AI is more present than ever in our society, the portrayal in digital media should evolve along with the technology. The Royal Society's research discusses the problems that can arise with unbalanced portrayals in media. Exaggerated expectations and fears about AI can affect public confidence and perceptions. They may contribute to misinformed debate with potentially significant consequences for AI research, funding, regulation, and reception. Not only do these negative portrayals create fear in the public's eyes, but they also inhibit the tools needed to advance and control AI. Although there is a valid reason to be wary of artificial intelligence, especially in terms of how it is utilized for good or bad, there needs to be diversity in the narratives being created with AI as the subject. Free Guy is an example of how this shift in the narrative may take form, creating grounds for less fear-inducing discourse around the technology. The research done by the Royal Society emphasizes the importance of diverse narratives. Clear models can support well-informed public debates, showing uncertainties, alternative futures, and the implications of different interventions. With better representation of AI, the already occurring advancements in the technology can have a better reception from audiences, allowing for the public to seek out information on the subject and create resources and opportunities to benefit from this inevitable advancement instead of ignoring it. As we see in Free Guy, digital media does not have to be completely serious to create a narrative that breeds helpful discourse about AI and future technology. If more films are created in upcoming years that revolve around useful or harmless AI, like an NPC banker who wears blue shirts every day and just wants to buy a new pair of sneakers, the stigma around AI conversations could dissipate and allow for not just good, but great discourse about the technology.